And hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of The Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host, Jonathan. Once again, bringing you my thoughts and review for Legion Season 1, Episode 7. Gotta say, another pretty bizarre episode. Basically, this show, like I keep saying, has been pretty good so far. I mean, not a lot of action here and there, but a lot of suspense stuff in this thing, you know. But we last saw the team. Danny obviously has been trapped by Lenny, who's basically become the new version of his alter ego, if you will. And you know, you finding out that she's the one who's been pulling the strings. She's the one, or he, depending on how you look at it, has been pulling the strings and has locked Danny away inside, so far deep in his mind that he's like trapped inside a box. And there was no way for Danny to get out of there until you had Sydney teaming up with everybody else to try to figure out how to get out of there. And eventually they do. And, yeah, you find a lot of interesting things about Danny and how he starts to figure out how he's related to a certain mutant we all know. And Professor X, I mean, they don't mention Professor X, but you do see a glimpse of his wheelchair, because I saw that was pretty interesting. I had to look back at it. And you saw like a flashback in his mind, and you saw the Professor X's wheel with the X on it, so you can tell it's Professor X, obviously, since that's actually his father. So then he puts together, knowing that this creature, that's this parasite that they've been calling it, has been fighting with his father for probably years. I mean, obviously we haven't seen it in the movies, but apparently that creature, or whatever it is, has gone inside Danny's body and basically trying to take over his power, his mind, his body, so that way he can be more powerful and, you know, conquer things and get revenge against Professor X. That's how I looked at it when they kind of explained it. It's very hard to explain this show without actually losing some memory here, because honestly, there's so much to figure out, like so many pieces of this show. It's so scrambled that you really have to really pay attention to really put it together. But I pretty much got the gist of it. But other than that, cool episode, I guess. Just seeing Danny like struggle with all these powers, and seeing how every thing inside his mind has its own kind of consciousness. I mean, Lenny, for example, he basically kind of created her, or in, you know, his way, and she's pretty much psychotic in this, because when she's inside the mind and controlling Danny inside, she's basically unstoppable. I mean, this woman, or thing, if you want to call it that, can basically do anything. Then she starts talking about the Shadow King. We have no idea what that means. It could be her talking about what that parasite is. That could be the Shadow King, for all we know. We have no idea. Next week's the season finale, so kind of curious what's going to happen. They actually had to give Danny a helmet that basically shocks any of the bad stuff away from him, so that way he can take back control and keep Lenny and all those other things inside his mind that's trying to get out at bay. So will it work? Who knows? And you got Sydney also trying to figure out how to get out. She finally does. They all basically, she goes and finds everybody else who's kind of scattered around Danny's mind. She gets them back. They get Danny. They all get out. Even the guy in the scuba dive suit is actually free now. So at least that. And then at the end of this episode, you see the whole government agency that was trying to capture them in the first place capture everybody. So now we have to figure out what's going to happen next. Are they going to control him, or Lenny and those other things inside Danny's mind going to come out? So many different questions here and there, but other than that, pretty interesting episode. I really enjoy this show for what it is. Like I said, it's not exactly the greatest action show of them all. It's it's basically a prototype of an X-Men show, if you want to call it that. And a couple of things here and there that makes you like, oh wow, this is pretty cool, you know, to get to know this character. But if you're just a casual X-Men fan, just watch the movies. Obviously, a lot of people probably not like about this show, but I get it. But I enjoy it for what it is. So I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen in next week's episode. But other than that, let me know in the comments below if you've seen this show and what do you think about it so far. Because honestly, next week's episode is probably going to be a big one. maybe we'll see Professor X. Who knows? But yeah. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and click that bell if you're not getting my notifications at all, because it should be wrong up there somewhere. So click that bell, and so that way you guys can be notified when I do my reviews or anything of that, from movie reviews, TV reviews, trailer reactions, anything you can think of. Stay tuned for more, and thank you, and have a good day.